Hi bestie, welcome back to another episode on how to cut and sew. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to cut this two-piece, and this top is a kaftan, a shirt kaftan with collar, and the trouser is a slant A-line palazzo trouser. If you are new to my channel, you are welcome, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel at the end of this tutorial. And if you find this tutorial so lovely, make sure you give it a thumbs up. So let's go to the cutting section. These are the fabrics that I got for this tie. I'm using 2.5 yards of a flower fabric and 2.5 yards of a plain fabric to cut out this tie. So the first thing I'll be cutting out here is going to be the trouser. So I'm going to put the flower material aside and cut the trouser first. So to cut out the trouser now, the folding of this trouser is going to be like an A-line, a slant A-line shape. So the first folding is going to be into 2. You fold it into 2 this way, then into 4, like an A-line. So let me fold it out for you now. So this is after the folding. Then I want to trim out this excess before taking the necessary measurement. So after this now, the first thing I'll be taking here is the waist measurement, and the waist measurement here is 32 inches. That is 8 in 4 places is going to give us 32 inches. This is my 32 inches, you can see. Then I'll be adding a seam allowance of 2 inches. 2 inches of seam allowance is not constant, it depends on the inches you want to add to your measurement. So the first thing I'm going to determine here is the hip point, and before you can determine the hip point, you have to take the 2 inches up for the band. The trouser has 2 inches band, so after 2 inches determine the hip point. The hip point here I'm using 10 inches for the hip point. Then after the 10 inches for the hip point, the next thing you determine is the flap measurement. The flap here is 35 inches. The flap is 35 inches. Then you take 2 inches up and take 35 inches. 35 inches, that means 17.5 inches. Then you take it at that place. After that, you take you roll it to the waist. Then after rolling to the waist, you take 2 inches up. This is not constant, you can make it of 1.5 inches and 2 inches at that place also. Then you connect them together. So you connect it up like that. Then you try to take the measurement first. Can the line give you, the cuff line give you the 17.5 for the flap with the allowance? Yes, this gave me 18 inches. So this 18 inches, that means is 36.5. The half inch is going for the same allowance. So before I cut, I will determine the hip measurement of 50 inches. Because the hip is 50 inches, that's 25. So I could not get my 25 inches here. What I have here is 11 inches, so it's not going to up to. So let me shift it. So you can see by the time I shift it, and I have my allowance at this side also, you can see where I'm starting from. So I can get my 50 inches there, and I still have 1 inch of seam allowance at the other side here, and there's allowance at that side, at this particular side I'm rolling. So I'm going to slant it. So my flap is going to be a slant flap because of the slant A-line for the folding that we made for the trouser. So that's why. So we have to ignore the first one. Then I'll now connect this together by taking the same thing and make it 1.5 now, 1.5, then 1.5. You can see 1.5. Then I'll now connect it together. Then I'll now take 2 inches up for the band. Then take it. Can I get my 36 inches 35 inches for the band? No, with the same amount of 1 inch is going to give me 36 inches. Yes, I can get my 36 inches now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to determine the hip. Maybe I can get the hip with the allowance, so I'm going to do that now. So this is 12.5, and I still have allowance for sewing. So the next thing now is to determine the length of the trouser, taking 2 inches up, don't forget, for the band. Then the length of my trouser is going to be 45 inches. So this is where my 45 inches is. The 45 inches is with the same allowance. So I'm going to roll it out. So you can see now. So that is 45 inches for the trouser length. So the next thing I'm in here is to cut it out. So after the cutting, you can see how the shape is now. So the next thing here is to divide the side into two. I'm dividing the whole side, the front side and the back side, into two. You can see, because it's going to have a pocket at the front side. It's going to have a side pocket, so that is why we are dividing it into two. So after dividing it into two, the next thing I'm going to do is to determine where the pocket is going to be. So I'll be taking two out of this now. You know, they are the same thing. Cut it together now. So when you take two out, you can make that two the front or the back. So I'm going to determine the pocket. I use 1.5 inches, then I'll notch it, the opening of the pocket. The length of my pocket is 7 inches. You can decide it from the waist to the hip side. Also, it's going to be 7 inches. That is constant for an adult. So the next thing now is the top. This is the top, the 2.5 yard for the top, and I've cut it into two. You can see, to give me the front and the back. No, there is a button at the front, and we're going to add a button allowance to this. So this is the front and the back. So I'll be shifting this now to get a button allowance. So this is after folding it into four. This is my 2 inches of button allowance. Here is it. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to take the shoulder slant of 1 inch, and here is it, 1 inch shoulder slant. Then I'll be slanting it to the center of both back and front here. So by the time I cut it out, you're going to see it properly. So the next thing here is to take the length of the sleeve. You know, it's a long sleeve, so the length I'll be making use of here is 28 inches with the same allowance. From the center of both back and front, I'm going to take a measurement of 28 inches. Then I'll chalk it out. 28 inches is here. You can see it. This is my 28 inches. And the next thing is to take the length of the top. The length of the top here, starting from this angle, then I'm going to take the length of the top to be 32 inches. That is with the same allowance. 32 inches is here. So after this now, the next thing I'm going to take is to take the hip measurement. That's the wideness of the top. Here I'll be making it of 15 inches. That 15 in 4 places is going to give us 60 inches. So from this 60 inches, I'm going to connect it, cuff it all to the sleeve length. You can see. Then I will now cut it out. So the next thing here, after cutting it out, is the neckline. The neckline, you know, it's a shirt, so we are using 3 inches of wideness of the neck. Don't let the neck to be too wide. 3 inches. Then the deepness of the neck at the back first is going to be 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it together. Then I'll now cut it out. After that, I will notch it here, but before then I'll cut out the front neck first. But let me notch it at the down here to know where my my button allowance is. Then I will not take out the back. Then I will divide my front into two. It depends on how you fold. The way I fold here, make the button I want to be in fold. That's why I'm dividing it into two. Then after the division, I'm going to take the neckline down with 1.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches. Then I'll now connect it. After connecting it, then I'll cut it out. So you can see now, this is it. Then what we took was 2 inches for the buttons allowance. Then I'll now notch it the way I did at the down part. I will do that at the upper part here. They have notched it to know where I'm going to fold after adding my gum stay. So you can see it now. You can see, so this is where I'm going to fold it after handing my gum stay. So you're going to see that because I've done a tutorial on how to put a perfect collar on this class. Also, I'm going to put the link under the description of this particular video, so you can watch how you can add you can fix your collar perfectly. Welcome back. Here the finished work so far. This is after stitching the top. You can see the opening of the hand I left. You can see the down part of the top before putting in to the trouser. You can see it now. You can see the collar. I've told you I've done a tutorial on how to fix a perfect collar. I'm going to put the link under the description of this video. So let me put in the top and see the trouser. You can now see how beautiful the 2-piece is. You can see. So I'm here to put my buttons. I'm still going to add the buttons to the front. Here you can see the 2 sides of the sleeve, and it also has a side pocket at the trouser part of the 2-piece. So you can see it now. If you're watching for the first time, you're in the right place to be. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more amazing tutorial. And for those people that have already subscribed, I really appreciate you guys for watching my video. Always see my next tutorial. Bye.